You're tuned in. Welcome to the Pushback. We're on Power 96.5 FM and WUFO Mix 1080 AM, home of the Tom Joyner Morning Show. For the next half hour, we're here to raise awareness of issues plaguing our communities and speak truth with people power. We have some really fantastic guests. It's a full house up in here tonight. We have, as always, Push Buffalo's own John Washington.
Hello, hello.
To give us the gentrification report. We also have Brother Heron Simmonds, who will be talking to us about the African Heritage Food Co-op, Cooperative Economics, taking economic control of our communities. Another special guest, Owasia Ayo, who is dipping her toe into the African Heritage Food Co-op. And Sister Shirley Sarmiento, who's a local poet, activist, involved with the Colored Musicians Club, the University of Buffalo American Studies Department, and I found out, amazingly enough, has lived in cooperative housing for 40 years. She should have a lot to share. And holding it down, producer Lonnie B. So we wanted to start with the gentrification report. John?
Well, gentrification is going absolutely crazy in Buffalo. Right now, all the developers are preparing for the auction. They're chomping at the bit to get our property, no matter how derelict or bad it looks. So watch out for white people with clipboards running through your neighborhood. We are personally preparing that push to go in and buy property along with the Fruitvale Community Land Trust. So I just came from a meeting with all of them. And really, you know, what's going on is there's a moratorium of the sale of city-owned property in the Fruit Belt, and people are asking a whole lot of questions about a project that Nick Sinatra and Carl Palladino are planning to do right at Best in Maine, where the St. Paul Mall is, because that land is under moratorium, but apparently some folks in the city have given them the idea that they are going to get that land. So there's a lot of concern over the gentrification of the Fruit Belt, because in October, the new hospital, Children's Hospital, will be opening, and then in January that new school will be opening. So there's going to be another 10,000 people moving through that neighborhood within the next 3 or 4 months. People are really trying to lock down their land. We are going to be hosting an anti-gentrification summit Saturday, October 14th. At the Hope Center at 385 Paderewski to try to address these issues. We have the executive director of the Right to the City Alliance in San Francisco, Dawn Phillips, who's going to be coming and breaking down how they've been building power out in San Francisco and Oakland to stop gentrification and use some of the resources these big corporations are coming in to build cooperative economics and to really fuel that movement. So I'm really excited about that.
Now, could you just real quick give us the elevator speech about the land trust?
A land trust is simply cooperative ownership of land. So you create an entity, and everybody puts into it, everybody makes decisions about what to do with the land, and that land is in trust for a legacy. So anything happens to you, part of the deed, the will, everything, that land will be always in trust with the community, but individuals can choose what to do on top of the land. So we can break that down at the Anti-Gentrification Summit again, October 14th. It'll be from 10 to 4 at the Hope Center, and we can get into more detail, but it's just a way for groups of people to own land together.
All right, thank you so much. And that comes right to Sister Shirley. If you could pull up the mic. What led you to become involved with building a cooperative?
My interest is community and everybody having a piece and a part of the community. Instead of white developers coming in, renting us spaces and buying up our land.
And what exactly was it that you are working on right now as far as cooperatives?
Well, I was working on the weatherization cooperative, and one of the things about cooperatives that people don't know is cooperatives are just not cooperatives. They're different kind of cooperatives. It's like the Lexington Co-op. The co-op, you buy your membership. You buy a membership to be in a co-op.
Right.
You don't have any access to money or interest or stocks in the co-ops. The only interest is your membership. The kind of co-ops I'm interested in is that people be able to buy stocks and their property, and like I think Darren said with land trust, have an interest in their own land. I lived in a co-op for 40 years, which is Marine Drive, which all the controversy been about for years and years and years. And when it was a co-op, it was better maintained than being maintained by BMHA. So in different corporations, I think Kittner corporations, they stole all the money. Nobody wanted to say anything about that or take him to court. He stole all the money from all of the washing machines departments and rode around this Cadillac. Nobody took him to court. I said, why didn't somebody take him to court? Nobody took him to court. That's the way Buffalo is. But anyway, a co-op, and one of the first co-ops the family Lou Hamer started, and I brought this here to just share with somebody. They started off with 40 acres of land, 1970 in Sunflower County, which is one of the poorest counties in Mississippi. And the Young World developers on the 14th of January 1971, they put $85,400 on 640 acres of land, giving them the total of 600 acres of land. They also had 68 houses. They had hoped sometime in 1971 that they would build another 100 houses on another 100 houses on 100 of the 640 acres. So co-ops aren't new, and people, co-ops been around a long time. And like I said, like there's different co-ops, like you got the Evergreen Co-op in Cleveland, which is a laundry co-op, which has made deals with the hospital to do laundry. Now that co-op to me is kind of like a private co-op because they got a board and they got a CEO, and I guess they pay the workers a certain amount of money. But the kind of co-op I'm interested in is people investing in their own self. Pay your percentage and you get Class A or B stocks, and you have interest in community and in your own land.
Ownership.
Ownership. I'm sorry. Ownership, and you can build by that way, and people take more interest instead of a slumlord, which we got all over Buffalo, slumlords. And if you have a chance to buy stock into different things, you're more interested in what happens in the residence you live in. You keep it cleaner. They have all these dirty places, and Buffalo let it go like that. So, and that's what I could say about co-ops.
And so how's the experience been trying to build this co-op?
Well, it's been difficult, some of it, and some of the group that we had, they were really strong members of it, and so some people kind of left, but we're interested in getting a new group of people if people are interested in building or looking at taking a chance at a co-op.
Okay, well make sure folks find out how to get a hold of you. Now this will be a cooperative business doing weatherization, right?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Brother Heron, what got you interested in cooperative economics?
Well, I believe in communism, but we won't say that. Specifically with African Heritage Food Co-op, we got together. We were with the UNIA, and we were just talking about basically black empowerment.
And those initials stand for what?
Universal Negro Improvement Association. That's the Garvey organization that now has been in existence for 100 years.
Amazing.
So you should know. So we were, building in that context, and we were talking about certain problems that we need to address. And basically, the African Heritage Food Co-op came about to address the problem of food deserts and black ownership. So we want to do, we who live in black neighborhoods know the deal. It's a very familiar circumstance where you can find corner stores everywhere.
Yes.
But there's not much food in them.
Right.
It's funny.
40 rolls.
All kinds of processed food, all kinds of stuff that's in wrappers, all kinds of stuff with sugar and stuff that ain't no good for you, dyes that are going to give you cancer, but not much fresh vegetables and fruits. So, it's a real food desert. There is one supermarket in East Buffalo. Wow. Okay? So we wanted to address that, but we also wanted to address black people owning things, because these very corner stores that are selling us processed food and junk, they're also taking our money.
Right.
So we want to, what we're doing is we started off with the simple idea of let's pool our money together, let's go buy from farms wholesale, and let's pass those savings on to the people. Okay, and that's what we've been doing. And our long-term objective is to own businesses, own property, so that we can have corner stores that are actually African Heritage Food Cooperative stores, right? That are reminding our people of who they are and also nourishing them. So that's one thing. There's a few things I want to put out there just for our listeners. I would love for people to get involved. The situation is this: we have a website. The best way for you to get involved is to go to our website. It is MyAHFC. Now, if you have trouble remembering it, that's My as in it belongs to you, right?
Oh.
A is African, H is heritage, F is food, and C is co-op. So myahfc.com is our new website. You can go on there and you can purchase one of our boxes. The 7th, this Saturday, will be the deadline for this month. So we do it, the first Saturday is the deadline for getting your monies in. The second Saturday is our distribution. We've been rotating at different spots. We'll be delivering out of, distributing out of Edward Saunders this Saturday, which is going to be the 14th, excuse me, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. And we have 3 boxes you can purchase. A full box is $30. You spend $30, you get $45 or more worth of food.
That's not bad.
We have a half box for $15. We have an organic box for $50. We're looking for a permanent home. If there's anybody out there who can help us with that, we need that assistance. And we hope to talk about some gardening things as the show goes on.
All right, beautiful. I was just going to ask that. I heard a little bit of scuttlebutt that y'all were looking for a permanent home. And where would you like to locate yourselves?
We want to be in the space where the deserts are. So we want to be where the people are. We want to serve the people. And another thing that Alex has been emphasizing, he's the president of the African Heritage Food Co-op, is employing people in the area, right? People don't live here, but they come here for their jobs. You know, I'm not knocking the jobs that people have, but we want to employ our own people. So we're really open. There's all kinds of places that could be businesses, right? And we're not just looking for one place. I would love to see African Heritage Food Co-ops all over the place. In fact, I would love to see it all over the country, because this problem is repeated everywhere. So why not just go for it all? We want to take it over.
And I've also heard folks talking about needing to take care of ourselves, even insofar as to create African Heritage Medical Cooperatives, African Heritage Dental Cooperatives, to start really taking care of our own needs. Maybe that would be a chance for you, Sister Owasia, to tell us what brought you to the cooperative.
What brought me to the cooperative was my grandmother, my late grandmother, Darlene Antrim, who just recently passed. She was born in 1931, which is right dead in the middle of the Great Depression time zone. And my family, we can tell you, she always talked about it, always talked about the Depression. And from what I understand about history, if it's happened before, it can happen again.
Absolutely.
So are you ready? Are you ready? Be prepared. As a Pan-African, I believe in sufficiency, independence. Learn how to feed yourselves, learn how to clothe yourself, learn how to protect, learn how to heal. And that's why I got into gardening. I love to feed people, I love to heal. In the UNIA, I'm always cooking for them, I'm doing experiments on them, I'm making potions and herbs and medicines for them. And this is where I'm coming from. Be prepared, because it happened before. History, there's the evidence. It happened before, it can happen again. And the question is, are you going to be ready? Are you going to survive? Are you going to make it? Or aren't you? So that's where my heart is coming from.
That's beautiful. That's so good to hear. I think folks get the idea that cooperatives and urban gardening is a great idea that white people brought to the community. But I can say when I moved on the west side almost 25 years ago, everybody's backyard was a garden. Hispanics, blacks, Italians, everybody had that going on. And then as the city got decimated, how do you spell gentrification? Now people aren't self-sufficient anymore. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to take a minute and have Shirley, if you don't mind. I know you can't possibly in this time break it all down, but the actual nuts and bolts. Is it just impossibly hard to start a cooperative? Is it incredibly expensive? Like, how scared should people be to try and do this?
No, I don't think it's hard to start from anywhere. But I know they have 5, 6, 7 cooperatives in New York City, and they just, they started them a couple of years ago. They went to the legislature. I think the legislature gave them $2 or $3 million. That was their first step. They got a cleaning, they got, I think a garden thing, they got 5 things, but anyway, they went to the legislator and the guy, the mayor, I can't think of, the mayor of New York City.
De Blasio.
De Blasio gave them $2 or $3 million and they're doing fine, and it's not that hard. You do your mission statement, you gather up your people and you work it. That's all I think that you need to do, you know, and like I said, it's not that hard, it's an investment, and I'm not talking about a separate. Now they have green sleeves, like I said in Cleveland, which is they made a deal with the hospitals to do the laundry.
Okay.
But what we're talking about is paying into a co-op, getting dividends back from a co-op, instead of giving all our money to white people. And so anyway, give the money to us, you know, instead of banks. Banks cheat us. I hate banks. I hate banks. Even Northwest push.
Doesn't everyone?
You know, Northwest push and MG. Yeah, they do their little social thing. But really, in the black neighborhood, we only have 4 black organizations. We got the Colored Musicians Club, the African Cultural Center, I think the Nash House, and that church over there. So rest of Buffalo is right. Yeah, this. I mean, but what else do we have? And all the money that black people spend in Buffalo, and they say, oh, that they don't have no money, this and that. But what we have to do, I think, like John Washington, get up, get moving, and get by your stuff. And cooperative economics could be a great thing for African American people. It was and still can be. And we have to hit our legislatures and hit the mayor or hit anybody who want to give us some money and invest in our own selves.
I just want to make a quick point about cooperative economics is, to me, that's economic development, right? Cooperative economics, because money flows, and we all know about Black Wall Street, dollar turnover. Empire State Development, ECIDA, all the people down at 95 Perry Street to Real City Hall have put $19.5 billion into Buffalo since 2010. $19.5 billion. And so if that money was given to incubate cooperatives, there would be an African Heritage Food Co-op on every single corner. Instead, it was given to Lou Simonelli, Nick Sinatra, William Palladino, Carl Palladino's son, and this clique of developers, right, in order to make it impossible for us to build cooperatives. So I want to just say, when you say, oh, you're going to ask for $2 or $3 million, that's nothing. Nothing.
I know it's nothing, but I'm saying for Buffalo, we got to start someplace. We got to go down there and fight them. For right now, we don't have nothing.
I'm telling the people they can do it. That's what
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The people can do it, and that's what we were doing.
Okay. Beautiful. Now, Heron, you were going to say a little bit more. We got a couple of minutes, and then we're going to...
So we're really excited about gardening too, because this is a skill that more of our people should have. Like the sister was saying, back in the day, America's an agrarian country, or was right before the Great Depression. It was right after the 20s that America became majority urban. So people had those skills of knowing how to grow. This is also the time when DuPont rose up, and all these chemical fertilizers came on the scene, and factory farming popped up.
Yeah.
All this artificial stuff started coming on the scene. We got to get back to the roots.
And all these diseases.
Exactly. We got to get back to knowing our food down to where we see it grow, right, and we know where it's coming from. So I'd like to see us get back to there. So one of the things we're doing in African Heritage Food Co-op is Each One Teach One Urban Gardening. Each One Teach One is a phrase that goes back from slavery, because we have always known when things are precious, it's not about the money, it's about knowledge. So when we were in a situation where we weren't allowed to learn how to read or do anything for ourselves, we understood that there were certain precious things that we had to teach to each other one-to-one directly. And so that phrase comes from those times, and it's still relevant because we still live in an age of disinformation. So we have to get together and pull the knowledge that we have. I know how to grow, I'm not a super expert, but I know how to grow some food. So I'll share that knowledge, and I'll help walk you through whatever, from the seed to the harvest plant. And we can do that for each other, right? So that's the concept. We get together, we start crops in our own houses, bring them out into gardens, and we have a plan right now. There's a spot where there's a church that's going to give us some land to do some farming over the winter. We're going to get a hoop house. I already have some collard greens growing hydroponically in my house.
Facebook, they're very cute.
And what we'd like to do is get those developed, move them out into the into this church area, get the hoop house set up, and start this process. And these are things that, look, we're dealing with global warming. The winters are getting warmer.
Yes.
So we can successfully grow collard greens all year round, kale, broccoli, spinach. So that's what we're trying to do.
All right, and folks, we'd like to give you a chance to call in with your questions for any of our guests. That number is 716-837-1112. And if I could bounce back to John, could you remind us again an important event that's coming up at Push this weekend?
Yes. This week, this Saturday at Resurgence Brewery, we're having a fundraiser and membership drive. So we're trying to build up our membership power in the neighborhood, and we've had a bilingual canvas team going around the community, making a concerted effort to connect, especially with our Somali, Bantu, Kenyan, African brothers and sisters, Burmese community, because the West Side is so diverse. So really being able to pay young people to teach them how to do community organizing and to keep them paid to go out there canvassing, building relationships among different communities, because we just see that one of the solutions to gentrification is the diversity that is on the West Side, and right now that's really under specific threat. So we're trying to build power around that, trying to raise money to keep that moving. So to be at Resurgence Brewery this Saturday, 6 p.m. Really all we're asking for is $10. It'll be beer, food, games, fun, but just a little money to support these young people that are really helping us build a community. And membership is included in that.
And membership in?
Membership for Push Buffalo.
All right, that's fantastic. $10, food,
Yep.
membership in a great organization,
Yep.
supporting incredibly diverse youth. I've seen them. It's more like quadrilingual.
Right.
It is not bilingual.
Right.
Those youth were speaking Arabic.
So there'll be music and entertainment too. African drumming, acoustic R&B, acoustic hip hop. There'll be a Somali Bantu performer. So it's gonna be a really great time.
Can't forget shameless plug for Lonnie B, the DJ.
Yeah.
Never shameless. No shame. And I should mention that,
Can we plug politics too?
well, if we could maybe
We
stick
can't
with the
endorse
youth.
anyone.
Can we stick with the youth for a second?
Okay.
Push Green is developing a relationship with school number 30, also incredibly diverse on the West Side. A lot of immigrants, refugees that so far as fighting gentrification, these folks have had the wherewithal to come here from incredible circumstances, buy a home, and then can't access the resources for their homes to be sustainable, energy efficient, just pure comfort, health levels. So that's something to keep on the radar on the 14th of October at School 30 from 9 to noon. There will be many, many different vendors, including Push Green, helping our neighbors get their homes weatherized and ensure owner occupancy in the city. So put that also on your radar. Is there any other event coming up that you would like to let us know about? You sure? Brother Heron?
There's an election coming up, and there's
That was a hard segue.
somebody's running who came out to a rally with a conservative, with a, what is it? The rebel flag,
Nazi flag.
and with Nazis, right? That person is up for re-election, and we don't want him back in there. So there's going to be canvassing to make sure that gentleman does not stay in power. And I just feel like when we're talking about coming together, we should come together for that.
And how many people has he murdered? Committed suicide?
Jeez, the numbers are pretty. I know
We'll
that
never know.
I think it's like 28. Like 28. It's like five times.
Too many.
5 times the national average, and the rate of death in the holding center. So it's just ridiculous.
Right. And in fact, suicides and attempted suicides were called incidents.
And
So
rest
we
in
really
peace
have no
in
way
your
of knowing.
companies.
And Miss Shirley, as long as we're trying to pull people in, how can people get involved with the ongoing weatherization co-op? How can they get a hold of you?
Well, they could probably contact me or either Sage. I'm not sure who's handling it at the moment, but I think Sage would be the person right now.
So yeah, we would say call Sage at 716-884-0356.
Now, this is the director of organizing at Push Buffalo speaking, so congratulations, John Washington.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you all came out. This is so important. It's dear to my heart. I know we have a lot of concerns about things like obesity, health issues, and people want to blame it on the community. Just eating too many moon pies and drinking too much great Kool-Aid.
Blame the
Get a
victim.
garden. Start a garden.
Start a garden.
Start a
That's what
garden.
keeps that $4 billion medical campus full. Those my doctors and
Start a
jobs.
garden.
So one of the things that we wanted to do, and we did it in one garden, in the Rosa Gibson Garden of Love, there's a raised bed in the shape of an ankh. So everyone know what an ankh signifies?
Tell us what an ankh is.
Life.
So an ankh signifies unity of life. It's the male and the female principle combined. You might understand it as a cross with a circle on top, but the circle is a womb, and the top of the cross are fallopian tubes, and the long shaft is the long shaft. You know, so what I like to see, the vision I have, and I would love to see African Heritage come together and do this, is to put these kinds of gardens all over the east side, and to put medicinal herbs in them.
Yes.
Which is something that is just for us, right? It's another way of us connecting to our basically our heritage in nature. You know, we've been given a gift from God. We've been given everything we actually need to live and be healthy and be whole.
God is merciful.
All we got to do is go back to it.
Yes.
So I like to see is have us have all the herbs and medicine you need right there in our neighborhoods. And then all we got to do is spend our time, go there and deal with it. Learn about it. See what you can, there's no end to what we can take from Mother Earth.
Right.
All we got to do is start.
As long as we treat her right.
I say.
And it's true, absolutely everything that we need has been provided. Most medicines we take that are killing us are derived from a good, clean, honest herb or plant that grew in the ground.
Then we add additives to it to make you die.
Some herbs we have in our cabinets, like cloves and
Oh yes,
basil
in our
and
kitchen, right?
peppermint. I mean, these little, they seem little, they don't seem like much, but they're powerful. They're manipulated properly. They can make wonders. So study, experiment on yourself, test the waters, try it out. You never know until you try.
That's the truth. That's the truth. My goodness, time goes so quickly when you're in good company.
Yes.
Speaking the truth to power. So again, this is the Pushback radio programming on Power 96.5 FM and WUFO Mix 1080 AM, home of the Tom Joyner Morning Show. We're glad you were with us for this next half hour, and we want to really encourage folks that didn't take a chance to call in on this show. We will be airing the first and last Wednesdays of every month. Look for podcasts to come out in between. Those will be on the Push website and also on the Push Green website and Facebook. We're going to try and get all the information up about these great initiatives going on. And don't hesitate to reach out to the African Heritage Food Co-op. Get your hands dirty.
And the UNIA.
And the UNIA.
I say.
And I'm assuming, I'm sorry, we're pushing it tight here. Is there still room for people to actually become a part of the co-op in addition to purchasing and buying in for the produce?
Absolutely. So you can go to that website. Let me repeat it. It's myahfc.com. That's myafricanheritagefoodcoop.com. You can go there and put in an order to buy a box, our monthly distribution. We're looking for volunteers. You can also become a member. The sister was talking about buying shares. We do sell shares. We're trying to raise funds that way. Okay. So we're looking for folks to get involved in the different ways that you can get involved. If you have time and effort, please give us that because we need it. We need help with our farmers markets. That's coming to a close right now, but all summer that's a really important opportunity. Alex has been organizing these kitty kickstands. When the slow roll comes through Buffalo, we follow them and we have our little entrepreneur business with our kids.
That's fantastic.
All right, so we're trying to do different things, whatever works. We need your ideas and your help and your effort to add to what we're doing.
Wonderful.
Peace.
I say.